Welcome back to the Dumb Shit Podcast, where our dumb
we brought it back. I got fish lice from a hat.
It's been less than 10 minutes and Kripal is already inconveniencing me. Nothing has changed.
Reese is just angry because his wife left him and he's destitute and he's losing his house.
She took the house. Should have signed a prenup.
He should have signed the prenup.
Halloween prenup.
This is our 25th recording, not including Will's sing-alongs that he do.
There's Will do sing-alongs.
Will does sing-alongs on this app, and that's why there's 25 recordings.
Do you think they're all sing-alongs?
Yes. Will, do a sing-along.
There's more to it. There's more to that post. I will send the rest.
Oh, it is. What do you mean?
There's more. It keeps going. It keeps going. There's more. Here, I'll prove it.
Super rare.
Google Map.
No, don't listen to Kripal.
Oh, you want to see the...
Kripal's not allowed to be next to children.
You want to see the... Let me load it.
Play Russian with Smarties one of the two
You're just riding one video.
I'm looking for the rest of the post. See, I found it. I found the rest of the post, Eli. I found the rest of the post. I'll send it to you.
He's so cool. Have you seen it?
There you go. I sent you the rest. I sent you the rest of that. Didn't you send me this?
I think so.
Yeah.
My question was, do you want to ride one vehicle or just
We should probably. I mean, we could carpool, but
Look
if
at my
one of us-
Pokemon.
Write a thesis about this.
I just thought it was.
Hey, Will, look at that. That's crazy.
What is that?
That looks like a place I've stayed in.
What?
This looks.
That's my kitchen.
What?
It looks like I've been
Looks
there.
like a place I've stayed.
See, there's the full picture without
I think I might have spent the night.
I think I've been there.
You think you've been there. Then you've been to my house and you don't need to go.
No.
I've never been to
like
Kripal's house. Do you live in like a cave?
It's like a ramshackle cottage.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hold on, I need to turn on my VPN so I can load
He
Pokemon
never
Go.
runs out of things to like amaze me.
Amaze is the wrong word. Irritate is a better word.
Amazed.
Hold on, I need to connect my Thunder Baby VPN.
Just get a real VPN.
No, because you have to pay for those.
I pay for mine.
You're rich. You went like to 3 different places across the world.
Yeah, I went to Universal here. I got a lanyard. See, I got the VPN.
What?
I got the VIP.
I got the V. I got the V.
I got the VIP experience.
Is that
What?
What is that? Sign out.
I know. Stop playing Pokemon Go. It's 2020.
It won't load. Panic. My Pokemon. Hey, load up Pokemon. Load up Pokemon Go. Load up Pokemon. You got Pokemon Go. You got Pokemon Go. Hey, you got Pokemon Go on your phone? Will you load up Pokemon Go?
I've had a sucker this life.
Ever? You never had a sucker?
No, not in a long time.
Are you like? Have you been crying?
I.
Your eyes seem kind of red.
It's
It sounds
on,
sick.
your eyes are kind of.
I'm sick.
You've been crying. You've been. No, he's been crying. He's been.
What?
How sick?
You should wear one of these.
How sick?
Yeah.
Do you want mine?
No, I could eat my
Where's the one that says Willie?
I think it's at. I think it's at Pizza Hut.
Child food.
Nice, dude.
It made me want to throw up, so I didn't.
It's either at Pizza Hut or in your car.
You can
in
only
your mom's
digest
car.
certain things.
I literally can only digest certain foods. I tried to eat a pad thai and it made me throw up.
What's a pet
Or
thai?
it made me want to throw up. Pad thai?
Thai noodles. Noodles and vegetables.
What is going on?
There's a Snorlax.
What is going on?
That's a Snorlax.
What is going on?
Catch him. Catch him. Catch
going on
him.
in Miami?
That's direct, man.
What in the hell going on in Miami, bro?
Hey, what the fuck going on in Miami?
I have, it's either allergies
Hey, I
or
got
cold.
100.
100.
Oh,
He's tiny now.
hold on, you're a snake.
It's more like,
I got 100.
it's
I gotta run. I gotta
Stop taking
run.
pictures.
Top taking screenshots.
Carpal's really impressed.
I gotta run.
He's like, holy shit. The snake is right there.
Somebody transgender.
Did you know that
Somebody transgender.
it's called
Everything
Vegas
is in
for
this.
Oh, that's good.
That's so.
I bet you didn't know that.
Pursuit of
Is an
Wonder.
excerpt from the debut Pursuit of Wonder
I hate this
affiliated
guy so
book,
much.
Notes from the End of Everything.
I hate this guy so much.
Perhaps to be human is to struggle one's whole life to find some solid ground to stand on, and then die never coming anywhere close. And perhaps that's not even a bad thing. To know the true meaning of life and self is to do what with it? End the mystery? End the game? What then? Perhaps one day we will find some unifying theory of everything, and perhaps somehow this will make everything better. But what are the odds that we still care about the point of life after we found it? Imagine a movie in which you knew exactly why and what everything was from the start. Imagine a life. If we found a theory of everything or equation that connected the mysteries of quantum mechanics and Einstein's theory of general relativity, and we understood the very core of how and why the universe worked, what difference would this really make in terms of the meaning of life? Would two different people still not watch the same movie and experience and interpret two different things? We would, of course, all agree that it's a movie and on how the movie works, but when it comes to meaning, there will always remain a perceptual layer completely relative to the individuals observing it. Because of this, if we found the overarching ultimate truth of existence tomorrow, half the world would not believe it, the other half would fight for it, and as a whole, we would be no different. And if somehow the whole world did agree upon one truth, what then? Utopia? What then? The truth we seek when considering the quality and meaning of our lives is not an outward truth, not a truth that resolves the questions of the universe, but a truth that gleans inward and assembles into a stable self that can be integrated seamlessly into our perception of the whole around us, a truth we can't ever truly have. Truth is not even the right word here. There is no right word here. That's the point. I sit here writing, thinking about my being, about the strange relationship I have with this life and this plane of existence. I think about how alive I feel right now while writing, how potent this moment is, how insane and beautiful it is, how important it has been to me in the past. Thinking, writing, talking, and reading about earnest experiences and attempts at living. Personally, the direct confrontation with the challenges, complexities, sufferings, and plights of the human condition have provided me with some of, if not all of, the most profound, potent, and beautiful moments of my life. And I wonder if I would have ever experienced any of those undeniably worthy moments if life made sense, if it didn't hurt and overwhelm me. How beautiful would the night sky be if we knew exactly where it went and how the stars got there? How incredible would a view from a mountaintop be if we knew exactly why the rocks and trees were the way they were? Would we ever be inspired to create art and form interpretations out of this life? What would I have written about? What would I have read about? How would I have ever found love or friendship or connection with others? Why would I have ever laughed or cried? What would I be doing right now? Would there be anything to say? Anything to live or die for? I don't feel that my life would have been any better if I had known any more of what it was all about. In fact, I think it would have only worsened the whole thing. We seem to so desire certainty, an immortality, a utopic end to conflict, suffering, and misunderstanding. And yet, in the final elimination of all darkness, exists light with no contrast. And where there is no contrast of light, there is no perception of light at all. What we think we want is rarely what we do. If we ever got what we did, we would no longer have anything. What we really want is to have something to ceaselessly chase and move towards, to feel the motion and synchronicity with the universe's unending forward movement. Like how all great relationships and friendships are comprised of two people who counterbalance one another through various intricate oppositional forces and traits, so too does the human exist in relationship with the universe. The relationship between us and the universe must persist with a counterbalance, a confrontation, a give and take, a rational faced with the absurd, a meaning faced with the meaninglessness, the finite faced with the infinite. Like most relationships, it has its rather intense ups and downs, and we have our differences, but we stay in the relationship because inside us both, for some reason, we still want each other.
So true. What did he say? I wasn't listening.
Say what you said earlier. Sorry, bud. Say it like you said it.
You said it like Tom Cruise.
You said it like I watched Rango last night, and it reminded me of that. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, it's close.
You watched Rango last night?
I did
Isn't
watch.
that movie like great?
It's awesome.
I love that guy. Go get it.
No.
Capal's really trying today.
What, to make me hate you? Or to make me hate me? It's alright.
It's not Rango.
What?
You are not Rango.
No, I am not Rango. I'm Jake the Rattlesnake.
I'm the bear.
Only takes one bullet.
I saw where the Truman Show was filmed.
What?
I went to where the Truman Show was filmed.
How about yourself?
Not true. You didn't go to the Big Dome.
Yeah, this is true, actually.
I did actually. It's underground.
I would not be surprised if my whole life was a TV show.
Well, it only takes one bullet.
Only one bullet. I really wouldn't be.
No. Hey, will you eat this?
Reality.
Who's on his back?
No. Then you
That's
should
where we're
eat
at now.
No.
We've got reality, God, and society or social. I don't remember the last one. We'll be lucky to make it through God.
Those exist.
When you think of philosophy, sorry, Kane. When many people think of philosophy, they think about these next two units. What is reality? What is God? Is there a God? Maybe epistemology, what is knowledge? But we're just introducing you to philosophy this semester, just to ground you a little bit in Western thought. See what you think about certain things, what others thought about certain things, why we are the way we are. Did you read anything over the break, Kate? No reading at all? Oh. Okay. How about you, Raphael? Did you read any good books? Nothing?
I watched a good book.
What movie did you watch?
A new movie from Disney, Free Guy.
What did you? Where are you?
Yeah, I watched Free Guy.
Did it speak to the philosophical nature of existence?
Well,
Kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of. They
it's
could.
actually quite philosophical if you think about it.
Sure.
The protagonist is not a human being, it's an AI that was just born inside a game which is very violent, so he keeps dying, and he doesn't like that. Guess
I read a
why?
book.
You watching Groundhog Day?
I read a book,
I love
Raphael,
Groundhog Day. I love Bill Murray.
that gave me a whole different perspective on how to view Western civilization, Christian influence, Jesus himself, the Buddha. Technology. Raphael, this is why.
What was the movie?
No, it wasn't a movie. It's books that I'm
Oh,
reading.
a book. What was the book? Who
One
wrote
is called The Immortality Key.
Who wrote it?
Brian.
Brian. It's okay.
I'll bring it in. But it's.
Because I'm a prophet.
Let me see if this helps. So there are these things called the Eleusinian Mysteries. Have you ever heard of these? The
No.
Eleusinian Mysteries. These,
Although
these
the
go.
word, like, it's not the first time I've heard that word.
These go all the way back to ancient Greece, right? So the premise of the book is the way we interpret Western civilization, the things that have influenced us, are not what we think they truly are. We have created a different story than the original story. So these Eleusinian mysteries deal with these. Do you know who the goddess Dionysus and Demeter? So Dionysus, wine, right?
I think it can be like
Agriculture.
Yeah, it's not. It's not Earth, it's Gaia.
Yeah, Gaia
The
is
daughter is spring.
yeah.
Yeah, Persephone.
Come on now.
Demeter does a lot more than just agriculture.
But the whole thing of Demeter is this birth, resurrection. Trying to get us into that. And so the book, young Will, deals with these Eleusinian mysteries where this guy, this anthropologist, he goes back because his theory is that there is something in the past that we used in ceremonies that had psychedelic effects on the mind. Okay? And we were doing these things all the way back 13,000 BC. We've been doing these hallucinogenic things with plants and things. And these are the things that actually have created religion, that have got us in touch with certain things, so on and so forth. But he's going back and digging all these things up from the past in these Eleusinian mysteries. And why it's so prominent or so powerful is because we, as a Christianized West, his theory or his thesis is that these Eleusinian mysteries impacted the first Christians because the first Christians interpreted things in Greek. And they would have taken these mysteries. And it gives a whole different perspective on how... Have you guys ever heard of Gnostic Christians?
Yeah.
So Gnostic means direct experience, right? And the Gnostics in the first century, when Christianity was not even a thing, you had all of these different interpretations of who Jesus was. And the Gnostics interpreted it one way and so on and so forth. But 300 years later, it's the Catholic Church that kind of won, right? And they got to determine what books got in the canon and all of these things. But that was 300 years after Christ died that we had this thing called the canon. Well, the Gnostics did not view Jesus the same way that modern Christians view Jesus. They viewed him in more of a... So the Gnostics were personal experience. You have to have direct encounters of knowledge to gain access to that. And this kind of deals with the Eleusinian mysteries and who Jesus was. And if you read what Jesus said, it's vastly different if you look at it from what the Gnostics were saying about him to what the Catholic Church said he was saying.
How so?
So like when Jesus says things like, you must be born again, the kingdom of God is within you. These are direct experiential elements that divine within yourself, right? So the Gnostics looked at Jesus as the one that was bringing the message that God is really within. It's within us. It's not something out there. It's something in here. And it's something that you can identify with within your own psyche, right? This kind of idea.
So did they believe in like a metaphysical God,
Well, they believe, the Gnostics did. They believed that the God of the Bible, like the Old Testament God, was basically an ass. And he wasn't the real God. There's something beyond that God. But like the Tao says, the thing that can be explained, the Tao that can be explained is not the eternal Tao. You can't articulate what that thing is. But the thing, whatever that is, resides inside. And these psychedelic experiences of these Eleusinian mysteries were the thing that unlocked that divine nature within us.
So the Gnostics just did a bunch of psychedelics?
Well, a lot of people were doing a lot of psychedelics. Yeah. These are what the Eleusinian mysteries are. And so the premise is that the early Christians would have known this. And they would have been impacted by these definitions. So if you reread the New Testament in this light, what Jesus is saying from the Gnostic perspective or from these mysterious is not what the church made it to say, right? Jesus is leading you to an inner thing, not an outer thing. And if you read it with it in mind, you're like, maybe that's what he was trying to communicate. And it's not this. So the whole idea is in order, If you die before you die, you never die. So experiencing your own death before you actually die means you're unafraid of actual death. And this is what baptism is all about, the rebirth is all about. So when Jesus says you must be born again, it's not talking about born again in the sense that modern day Christianity interprets it. It's born again from your inner psyche has died, and now you see things in a much different perspective while you're alive. So death no longer has this hold, and it's so. This is what I was doing, Kane, while you were not reading. These are things that I'm reading. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. It's called The Immortality Key. Very interesting. And his claim is that civilization and all these ideas of democracy, all of these ideas of God, the way we interpret these things, all came from a psychedelic experience through this brew called Kukion that is in these mysteries. And these are the things that unlocked the way we thought of things in the Western world. And if you go back in the Eastern world, like Taoism and Buddhism, they're saying exactly the same thing. The church is just misinterpreted, or the Catholic Church, I should say, because that's the first church, misinterpreted or interpreted for themselves what they thought Jesus was saying. But the Gnostics, those closest to Jesus at the beginning, had a completely different take on who he was and what his message was. Very interesting, anyway. It's fascinating.
What else did you read?
Then I read a book called Returning to Rapture, which is trying to figure out a way to provide meaning and purpose in a meaningless world, trying to solve this existential problem that we're dealing with in today's world in a way that everybody can get involved with, and it deals with different elements of the psyche and what we're telling ourselves, because his basic argument is religion has failed us and democracy in the modern world has failed us, and we're trying to fill a gap. This is why everybody is so lost. This is why everything's so existential. This is why the world is collapsing. This is why nobody cares. This is why people play or are on their computers when we're having these massive discussions. We have to fill it with something. Is there a way we can fill it with meaning and purpose within ourselves? So it goes into Wim Hof, like breathing methods and all different type of things to unlock, dare I say, that inner divine.
Did it do it though?
Oh, I'm not done with the book, but I like the patterns that. But it's all practical kind of things that we can do. A lot of deep psychotherapy, a lot of psychology.
Do you see any of that like actually helping?
It's going to help me.
Yeah, but like, you think it could actually like make a difference?
No, we're screwed.
Yeah, I figured.
I really think we're screwed.
We're done for.
I mean, I don't know how we get out of this.
We're already kind of past the point of no return for the climate. It gets hotter every year.
Wait.
But nobody
I don't
really.
think
I mean,
that's not what it's called.
No, I know it's not, but like we don't get it done for as a species.
his argument
I
is
just gotta worry about what you
that
do.
unless something is done, we are done for. Because we're so divided, the things that we have looked to in the past for structure and stability, like religion was supposed to save everybody, but now we have vast majorities of the population that are abandoning organized religion.
He's trying to be a person.
And then the whole Enlightenment Western thought that was supposed to bring everybody in and make democracy inclusive is failing us. And so if those two things have failed to provide a structural meaning for society, what are we going to do? I mean, if you look at the technological age that we live in, you also see massive anxieties, depressions, psychosis, because the things we built meaning on have failed so many people, especially your generation. These younger generations are just like, there's no value in anything. There's nothing that stabilizes the psyche as religion and these liberal democratic ideas used to. Everything is just void and nihilistic, and so he's trying to figure out if there's a way to fill that an individual can go within himself to fulfill some of those things.
So the whole point is kind of nihilistic to begin with. It's like there is no real meaning, so make it your own, I guess.
Yeah, but he's trying to figure out if there's a way we can harness our own biology and psychology to find the meaning within us, instead of these organized structures that society has built, right? That in his mind have proved futile for giving the meaning that we need in our world. I mean, it's very easy to have meaning when everyone believes, if you are a medieval Christian Catholic, everyone believes they have the answer to the world, or they're told this is the answer. But now with technology and the amount of information, there's no foundation. And he's trying to figure out how we can come up with a foundation to move forward. And it's trying to provide rapture in the sense that there's things within us that can bring about this sustained meaning in a world where the organizational meaning has pretty much collapsed on us. Because look, I look around, you guys don't trust in school, you don't trust in the organizations, you don't trust in the structures that have built, that are telling you what to do, that are saying this is the right thing and that you should do that. You guys aren't buying it, right? It's like the 60s, and they're looking at it and they're like, this is stupid. Why should we follow an authority structure that is creating all these wars and is doing all these things to us and taking our humanity away? And we're kind of in that time again where these generations are looking at the world and are like, what's going to fill this? Because the organizational structures are inauthentic. You've got the church that, is so hypocritical. And do you hear what the Catholic Church, they just came out with in France, do you hear about what they discovered in the French church? Over 300,000 children since the 1970s have been abused within the Catholic Church in France. You hear about this?
Yeah.
People are just like, what the, and so that kind of thing.
It's a shock to
It's crazy. And that's just in France.
Yeah.
That's not like the Catholic Church. That's the Catholic Church in France. 300,000 children. And then you're supposed to go to so this kind of idea, that the structure, right? So, and then we live in this, it's just, that's the kind of crap I'm reading.
Did you watch any cool movies?
Yeah, I watched Midnight Mass.
That's a TV show.
TV show, yeah. I watched The Guilty.
That's a movie.
That's a movie. Did I watch any other movies?
That's it.
I don't know, I'm thinking. I watched so many things. Hey, we got all of this from What Did You Read? Yeah. But after lunch, Gage, we're going to talk about reality. Like, what is reality?
I watched Inception.
And then, I don't know.
I started Inception. It made me sleepy. I was like, that's a good opportunity. I'll take a nap.
I watched
How was your break?
Watch the
Did you run?
No, it doesn't. That was not. It's really fun.
It's super fast.
Why don't you go
It's
first?
really
Bad.
fun.
Because what?
What movie?
Okay.
Venom.
Venom 2. It's better than the first one by much.
It was like,
It's like a
I had
no,
fun. It's a whole
horrible. It's wrong.
It's pretty bad.
It's
Why don't
it's
you go to
a
the beach
60%.
together?
It's fine. That's about right. Six out of 10.
If I think about it,
Do you not?
it's just I hate this, but I had a lot of fun.
As far as enjoyment, it's like an 8.
They wasted cards.
They did whisper.
It makes me sad. He was just
Leaking? Your chimney's leaking?
Well, the whole
Like
point
rain
of
is going in the
Carnage
chimney.
Did you kill your bird?
Spider-Man. And if there's no Spider-Man, it's for Spider-Man and Venom to team up to fight something else. That's Carnage.
that's what.
But if you just have Carnage as a...
Anyway, Dole, after lunch we're going to reality. We're going to start with Plato's Myth of the Cave, and we're going to go from there.
Have you seen
He
Inception?
did.
Did you like it?
Yeah, so long ago. I don't remember it really well.
We could watch it.
Could.
I read books. I read a book.
What'd you read?
Edge Dancer
What?
by Brandon
Carnage
Fraser.
have a girl.
Have a girlfriend?
Dalton, you want your bag?
The dialogue is really good.
So is yours.
That's not my fault. I don't recommend that.
Real life dialogue sucks.
Real life dialogue is trash.
It's fine. I don't know. That's too mean.
Unless you're a screenwriter, then you can just like write.
It's
your own
my.
dialogue.
It's just crazy to me how my favorite actor could be my favorite comic book superhero by coincidence, and I could watch it all day. I am a little biased.
It wasn't that great. It was fun. I had a lot of fun watching it.
I watched a lot of.
Bad is too strong. I just think it.
If I had to sit down and like watch the
What'd you
movie
watch?
and like think about it,
Inception.
I critiqued it, and even then, it's just kind
And
of bland.
Rango.
As a critique, the critique is
No,
bland
I
and
watched.
something that makes sense.
I watched other movies.
The
I watched the movie called The
nonstop.
Cube.
That movie did like one thing to the
Oh,
other.
I think I already know.
Yeah, and I also watched a movie called Circle.
I love how she's like, then we need to go to the place, and then they're at the place. But that's all that there is.
Yeah, that's okay. It's whatever.
It's an hour and 30 minutes.
It's fine.
Fast as fuck.
It's fine.
Carnage is
If I just want to watch a
I'm
movie,
fast.
I'm a
Should have
fan.
been rated R.
Your critiques are just the same one as the first one. You're acting.
Oh, I also
Did you
watched
see
all
the
of
first one? That's what it sounds like. You're talking.
No, the first one was slow.
The first one was the slowest.
I watched all of it.
It's like,
All of it. All 5 seasons.
I'd already watched the first season.
Are you ready for lunch? You prepared? Are you mentally built up your defenses?
Pretty good.
I like that.
It's better than most TV shows. What?
I watched some. I finished season 4 and watched some of season 5.
I'm always the go-to guy when no one wants to talk on the
The
podcast.
only memorable joke is like in season 5. It's like Nintendo 69 is the guy who
I don't know.
I remember that.
It's just funny listening to Will talk about things. Hey, when's our next competition?
next Saturday.
Where?
Maybe.
No, that's on the 30th.
Oh, then I don't know. Somewhere not that far away.
He said good old Rick Morty. I like that.
No.
You never say the end. Yes, you do. You say Rick and
Say Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty.
It's so much shorter and easier to say.
Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty has like a cadence to it. It's like Rick and Morty.
No, Rick Morty sounds sick. Rick Morty is dumb. You're dumb. I hate this guy. Rick Morty just makes me sound.
You're supposed to say RM.
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
No, I said RM.
You just. There's a disconnect.
No one is on the same page.
No one agrees.
Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Rick. Will's wearing skinny jeans today.
I'm not wearing skinny jeans.
You're wearing skinny jeans.
They're regular size jeans.
He's wearing skinny jeans because his ass looks nice. Don't tell him I said that though.
Yeah.
Hey, we got the spicy chicken sandwich.
Rick.
Raphael, say something on the podcast.
Huh?
Say something for the podcast. Say what's up.
You watch Rick
This
Morty?
person is a pedophile.
I'm not a
Of course I
pedophile.
watch. Of course I watch.
I just got called a pedophile by an Italian kid.
I tried YouTube.
What's the age of consent in Italy?
14?
Is it 14?
I don't know and I don't care.
I think it's like 14 or 15.
This guy does not care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's one of the two.
I think it might be 16. It doesn't matter.
I hope it's not 14.
The age of consent in Italy is 74.
74? Okay, you can't have sex until you're 74. In Italy.
Oh no, you can. Just don't have. Just don't
I almost called you Italy for some reason.
This guy just said he doesn't care about the age of consent.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
The age of consent in Italy is 74. Did you know that?
Whoa, buddy. Whoa, calm down. Whoa, man. Whoa.
What the?
Whoa. You're stepping on the Yeezys.
I don't know. I didn't know you went that way, but I do not.
Hey, do you know who Kanye West is?
I know the name. I don't know the person.
So you don't know who Kanye West is? Like you don't know anything about him? The Italian kid just said he doesn't know who Kanye West is.
Well, he's Italian. He doesn't deserve rights.
That's true. I hate Italians.
Why does everyone feel like that?
Everyone needs to chill out for just a second, guys. I gotta get my chicken.
How do you feel about men and women dating each other?
No, that's not the way that God intended. Like it should be a man and a man. Like,
Well,
what the hell?
I mean, when the society
I
was
got
trying,
you.
why would you let a woman do Kanye West said it best with small guy.
Yeah, he did. Kanye West does not have a mother. Trying to balance the harmony plates really hard.
This sunshine makes me feel homophobic.
I always feel homophobic.
Bro, you know why?
I can't stand him.
That's why I love him. Is he gay?
Shrimp? I don't think Shrimp is gay. I think Shrimp gets bitches. I think he pimps those.
Can I acquire them?
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta ask him. He'll probably send one over to you.
God, I have to ask a girl out for next week.
Oh, for sure. I don't know what he's talking about. Where? Daylight come and me want go home. Day. Is a day.
It's been a minute.
Daylight come. I thought you were vegan.
What?
I thought you were vegan.
I'm vegetarian.
The fuck?
Big difference. He's not a woman, he's a man.
Of course.
If you're a woman, then you're vegan. Incoming call from 865-83.
That's me. That's
This
my number.
one dude
That's
called
my
no,
number.
listen.
That's my number.
That's my number.
Venom 2.
This
Carnage
one dude
is
called
in
me.
him.
Let
there be carnage.
We're
Let
in
there be
singers
carnage.
singing Silent Night, Johnny Christmas music right now. And this one dude goes, "Hey, are you Sean?" And all he hears is just the sopranos going, "Yeah." It's just like a. You went to Florida? How long
Work
were you
all
there?
night
How long were you
on
there?
a drink
We
of
saw the dinosaurs.
rum.
Bro, listen, he sent me a photo of him himself watching Tucker Carlson, and I just knew I was proud of that. Yeah, we were just like making fun. He was talking about yeah, facts.
Come, Mr.
Obama is the shadow government. That's why he's gone.
Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me
Can I see it?
banana. Hold on. Go.
I'll take a
6
salt and
foot,
pepper.
7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight
Don't make fun of me for being rich. That was the richest trip I've ever been
6 foot,
We're on a
7
private
foot,
jet.
8 foot bunch.
You did what?
Daylight
I went on a private jet.
Who?
I don't know anything after that. Here you go, guys.
Yeah.
I don't believe that at all.
So can I just say anything into this?
We're gonna monetize it.
VIP Orlando experience.
Can I ask why you went on a very private ship?
What,
Private ship?
a ship?
Yep, private ship.
If you got invited on a private ship, would you go?
Where are we going?
Literally anywhere.
Cancun, Mexico?
Sure.
No, because Mexico is this ugly place. Second world countries are not good.
That's why you were talking about moon drops earlier. You visited your family on the moon because that's where they live.
No, I went to Orlando.
That's what they call the moon. His family lives on the moon.
Is there any response to your family living on the moon?
I mean, they do, but I didn't visit them.
Earlier, it's called moon drops. He said his favorite candy is moon drops.
You see, my favorite candy is a Kit
He said
Kat.
it's underground. We haven't heard of it because it's from the fucking moon. That's where he lives.
Paul, why didn't you tell us you were from the moon? What the fuck?
What? I'm from Mars.
That's not true.
That's already a candy bar.
I'm
also.
from Uranus.
My man, give me some slimmage. Yeah, dude. Yeah, so
I found this cool worm on the ground.
Will took over your spot in Monopoly, and he somehow managed to do worse.
That's not true.
I had no properties the whole time.
I won.
You wanted one ever. Sorry, I had to do this so early.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I came in first. I think Claire came in second.
I have a pirated copy of Bullets in it. I can't
I'm proud
upgrade
of you. Us,
So they switched out Valerius
Us
and
men
it's
have to
gone.
stick together.
I can't do it.
I mean, I tried to tell you and Mariana. Mariana was like, huh, wouldn't it be funny? She fucked me over, dude.
I'm really curious to see what happens if you start a co-op game of Valerius and invite me.
I don't think you can do co-op.
I think you can.
I don't think so.
You should
I think
be
it's
able
just a base max.
Will, I'm about to ruin your day. You got to see Mr. McCurdy in a few hours.
I know.
Doesn't that
I know.
fucking
I've
suck?
already thought about this. I know.
Have you prepared for it?
Fucking Chris got my hopes up so much because Chris was like, yeah, McCurdy said that he wasn't going to see us until the 13th. I don't know if he's like on vacation. I got so happy, and then I walked in this morning, and he was just there in his office. Said, hey,
Hey, can you do that again, please? Like with the arm and everything. That's good. Looks good to me. I'm about to jerk off on that plane.
You know, I've never done that.
Is that your cloak? Is that your Hobbit cloak?
This is my Hobbit cloak.
Not yet. We still need to buy some.
We should
Are
join
you
the
like looking for
Hey,
authentic Hobbit
hey.
cloaks? What if I told you that I am a Hobbit?
would you want to join me in the Mile High Club?
They had that at Hardee's, right?
It's called having sex on a plane. That's what it
No, that's like a burger at Hardee's.
I guess.
No, it's a burger at Hardee's.
It's definitely a burger already. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's a burger at Hardee's.
I've never been to Hardee's.
It's not good.
Obviously not. We can tell.
I fuck cows.
I fuck
Dead ones. In the fucking burger.
In a Burger King parking lot.
No, not Burger King. Hardee's. We went over.
Have sex with a Hardee's burger in a plane.
I have sex with Hardee's. Carl's Jr. watches.
I miss whenever they used to objectify
Have the
women in their
fucking hot-ass
sandwiches.
bitches in their-
That was the good days.
In their
Those were the
commercials,
good
you mean?
And then the fucking liberals took over.
You can't show half-naked women on TV anymore. Yeah, okay. Whatever.
I want to see mustard drip down someone's cleavage. I mean, that's just what I pay for.
It did make the burgers more appetizing.
Think about.
I can have a
so
lunch
good.
with this burger.
Bro, applesauce is so like,
That's
Goated?
trash applesauce though. That applesauce is garbage.
no, but it's better than like, I mean, applesauce is still good. I love Michael. Michael can have my kids.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael, right there. B. Jordan.
There he is. I love that.
Michael B. Jordan, though, can have my kids.
He's a very attractive man. He did.
Hearts and darts.
Michael Jordan
Yeah,
owns a
I don't have
NASCAR
it.
team.
Good for
It
him.
really does not matter.
B. Jordan or just Jordan?
Michael Jordan.
I already beat the
Is
Odyssey.
he dead? Did he die?
I'm playing
He owns a
Odyssey.
NASCAR team, no?
So he's dead.
Shut the fuck up.
Where's my honor?
He doesn't have this lunch anymore. Fuck. I'm about. Okay, are him and Carolina back together?
No.
Then what the fuck was that they did the other day?
They're just hanging out, I guess.
No, they're just friends. They just fuck each other as friends.
They're
I
just really
mean-
close friends who fuck all the
I
time.
mean, that's valid. I mean, aren't we all close friends that just fuck randomly?
Garrett, think it was like you and everyone here.
In this building?
Yeah.
Like,
basically-
including teachers?
basically.
Are they friends with benefits or something?
I could probably get every single
What
woman
they
here
are
in this
is
school
a
to fall in love with
relationship,
me.
but without calling it a relationship.
No.
Do they know it?
Men would be. Men will look at me and be too scared.
I don't know. Mariana tried to sleep tonight. It's because he doesn't want to get back with her. She wants to get back with him.
Why doesn't he want to get back with her? Because he knows he's going to be wasting his time again?
Yeah.
Good man.
She didn't treat him right.
Smart man. Quality man.
It's because he needs to live his life to his fullest in his single life with how limited.
Yeah. Like right now, I'll be honest with you. And this is no offense, like anyone that has a girlfriend. So Cooper and Ethan. But I'm at that point too. But like right now is a good time to be single if you want to be. You know what I mean?
You're saying that because you're single.
No. I just mean in general because
Right now, it's a pretty good time.
everyone's about to start going their separate paths in life.
Yeah, literally, like, in, I don't know, 6 months,
Literally,
It was
will
kind
never
of funny.
sit and talk to you.
Haven't-
That's
haven't
not what
even
I'm
heard-
saying. I'm gonna show up to your house.
Haven't heard Zach speak.
Can we please have a?
Haven't seen
Can we
any
please just have a?
photos.
What?
Haven't even looked at a
I
picture
remember
of it
this.
for over
I was
2 weeks.
landing,
and as
and I
soon as
saw
he gets
your
back, he's
house.
talking to
I was
Reese about
staring
fucking
at your
snakes.
front door, landing.
Immediately, right off the bat.
Immediate, like
What?
as soon as he sat down, Zach was saying something about snakes in her
I was
face.
staring at your front door.
Like, and he was
Good.
drilling it into you.
Yeah, no,
I
at
noticed
least
that you were not really paying attention.
I'm never into
You
it.
were not like into the conversation.
I
He was
just
just
don't-
like snakes. I was hoping there's a copperhead. You threw my shit.
I just don't know about snakes. I'm not as educated as he is.
It was just very funny. I don't know.
I hate how fake that looks.
I mean, at least he's passionate.
Like that is genuinely just so bad.
You can see.
I can't hate on him for being passionate about something.
Can you really?
Can you cut me off a little chunk of that?
Can you cut me off a little piece that I can get, my bitch?
Buy your own $90 pack
No, absolutely.
I'm like $90.
for like a big pack of these.
Okay, how big is a big pack? And don't you dare say like 40.
What?
Is it like 40 of them?
So you already have fucking Oathbringer?
40 for $90?
When did you buy it?
These are really expensive.
Why?
I can only order them off Amazon.
I thought you bought Words
Then
or,
stop eating
the fucking
them.
I
book
love
two.
them so much.
This man is willing to spend a whole paycheck on glizzies.
Oathbringer
Yeah, $90.
Unbound.
60
Yeah,
for
the one
40
that
is
has, like, nothing
understandable.
about Stromite or
High, but
Diet.
understandable.
Wait, 60.
Which
I have digitally.
$60 for 40 of those.
No,
I might get a job at the theater.
I read it in between classes. At least $1. So you can
And
work with
Oathbringer? Movie theater?
Yeah.
I was gonna do that, but I paid like
But what the fuck? Hey yo,
It seems easy though.
gonna go home.
hey yo, I have a gift for you.
All the girls hit on me at the movie theater.
I read they called him pretty. And it got
Who did?
Yeah, she called me pretty.
And that was it.
Who did?
We went to go see a movie. And like he complimented this girl's necklace, and she just said he was pretty. She
Why are you not fucking her right now?
I didn't ask for a Snapchat.
I would have. I don't care what kind of relationship you're in. Y'all can make it a threesome.
She would like say she's okay with it and then never forgive me after that.
snake I've ever.
Okay, but you got a threesome. I mean,
Be like, dog, you should.
That's my excuse for everything now. Yeah, I know, right? I've got a get out of jail free code.
You get one mess up. You get
I
like
get,
one big
I get
mess
one
up.
big screw up.
Except you should finish.
oh no.
Huh?
You have a threesome?
Yes.
Yep.
It was me, you, and your mom.
Oh, whoa.
All right there.
Describe it in avid detail.
So,
Down to the, like,
I went to the movie theater and a girl said that I was pretty. I went to the moon and a girl said that I was pretty and then I raw dogged her right there. That's how real life
listen.
We had to delay our viewing of Venom Let There Be Carnage because
I was too busy getting laid.
And then his real girlfriend pulls up, right? And she joined in on the fun.
This is true. I sat in the back.
She saw the whole thing.
I was the girl.
I was the girl. It was me. She was quite pretty.
Was past tense.
She's
took her
dead.
out.
No one's allowed to know.
National Italian
You had
Day,
to make
guys.
sure that you were the last guy he ever.
Oh yeah.
I hate Eric.
Sorry. Can't have.
Oh yeah,
can't have any
You guys do know that Eric's profile picture is just me in a dress, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think
I love
everyone
that.
knows
It makes me horny.
Okay. Wait, you make yourself.
I make myself horny, yes. If you don't make yourself horny, then you're not doing it right.
Okay,
Facts?
self-esteem.
Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Someone tell me I'm wrong.
Self-esteem.
You're wrong.
Self-esteem is not being able to look in the mirror without getting fucked.
If you get out of the shower and you're not rock solid, then you're not doing it.
You think she did it?
No, but I bet he said his
He definitely said his mom's house.
Yeah, you deserve to die.
Oh,
I love that
yeah,
guy.
I love that fucking
It's Jinx.
cat. It's Jinx the cat. What is this creature?
Dude,
Scared
he's
of the
such a
hairbrush.
strange cat. You mean like the bucket
Oh.
hat Jinx?
Like the funny cat with
I
the funny
forgot
leg.
about
I got a question.
that guy.
Who do you think is going to be the first person to have a divorce in this friend group?
In this friend
Me? You really think so?
Yes.
Who's the first person to get married in this friend group?
You? No, Ethan.
I can see Ethan getting married young, and then like getting divorced 3 years later.
So then he could be. So are you telling me that I'm gonna
6 months.
I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna get married after him, and manage to divorce the girl.
No, I don't think I'm gonna end up alone. I'm just gonna.
Why don't we all just like buy a, like? Why don't we all just buy like a 5-room apartment, like a
Friends, because
no one here likes each other. We can chill out.
Kill 2 of them. 2 of us.
Could you imagine how much we'd hate each other if we had to live together?
No, we wouldn't hate each other.
They already hate me
Bunk
now.
beds.
Oh.
In each room, that's 10 people.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
who here is most likely to like get married at like 19 and live like the happiest life for their entire life?
I think it would be
Probably
you.
Reese. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably
It's rather you or Reese.
It's Reese.
What was you think Rapal's gonna get married at 19?
Yeah, he has
To a secret
bitches on.
lover?
Yes, he does actually.
You have a secret lover, Jamal?
And she's on the moon.
Where can I meet her?
She's on the fucking moon.
Is it a
All
man's?
thinks girls and boys are the same.
True.
I respect that.
He does not
That
know
is
the difference.
that is how you know that he is a true
I have a
person.
genuine question. Are you asexual?
He's valid.
That's a genuine question.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
What do you mean you don't know? Can I give you schlop right now? We'll see.
Will you get a boner if I put your cock in my mouth? That's the ultimate test.
Do you find people attractive?
I had
What?
Do you find like people like their physical body attractive?
Do you jerk off to
Do you
pornography?
do you see a woman
He jerks
with
off to abstract concepts like money and success.
Do you see a woman with big kahunas and go, damn, she's got built.
abstract concepts.
First thing he said to me was like, I'm trying to break
You jerk off to porn. I jerk off to
world records.
We're not the same.
And he said the previous guy was 50.
He's like the kind of guy to like jerk off to like a drawing of boobs from someone in the 6th grade.
But apparently he jerked off 56 times in a row and died.
People do that. People jerk off to that.
That's the way to go out.
And when they're Muslim, why would you jerk off to? Oh shit.
I'm so fucking contemplating.
And my fucking pen ran out of ink. So it's like halfway and then just a really dark ink, like a straight to paper.
I
forgot about it and then fucking.
Okay, but so like you get rock solid. You be posting up like a tank.
I feel cute right now.
Kevin's. Really?
I'm sorry.
That's your dad's name is Kevin. I didn't know. That's your dad's name too.
It's
either dragging in the dirt or hitting my shit.
I really feel like you're gonna be the guy whose family is like you, your wife, and then just farm animals.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I feel like.
Is that like what you want?
Yeah, I don't want to get
Like seriously, that's like what you want. Because I want a son and a daughter. That's all I want. I want a son and a daughter.
I want 3 kids. 3 of them. Eli.
I already have my son's name picked fucking out.
I have my daughter's name picked out.
It's gonna be Hank. It's gonna be Hank, and then his middle name is gonna be Aaron. EIRN.
Name your son
Because I think this is right up your alley.
Garen can be a female name, so I can completely buy it. I don't see an issue with it. No.
Are they? I saw Kara this morning and almost all of his way.
I've quit Walmart.
All the joy of welcome. Give her a hug.
Of seeing what is that?
Do it.
I'm trying to ask
I saw Kara.
sloppy.
I don't know. He just called me strip.
If I give him sloppy,
He looked at me in the eyes and said, hey,
this man saw some nice ass videos.
No, he's probably going to get mad. He's not going to smack you. Give him a hug.
I do.
Yeah. Steve Lacey.
They're great.
Do it. Hug
It's like between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. and both of us have just gotten out of the shower together, and then we go to our separate houses, still butt ass naked. And just
I wish we could go to that corner. I wish we could go to that corner.
Garen, you will send me a picture of like just your face and I know you're
That's what they're saying.
No. You always just see my butt naked.
If you hug Will, all of the problems will be resolved. Hug Will.
That's how life works.
What are you doing sitting there? Go to Will. It's like going on Santa Claus's lap. Just give Will a hug. Hug him. Do you know how to hug? Do it on Will.
Are you starved?
Take your hands out of your pockets. Give him a hug. Give him a hug. It's like at the petting zoo. No, take your hands out. He's not gonna bite. Give him a hug.
Hey. You know you what? What? What?
We know.
What?
We know.
We know what?
He's rock solid on training. Hey, yo.
He's bricked up.
No.
Perfect.
Jonathan.
What?
Hug Will. Now. Do it. Yes, he does. It may not seem like it, but he loves hugs.
Can I hug Will for him?
No. Jonathan, hug Will. Hug Will. You hug Will. Do it.
Pussy.
Take your hands out of your pockets.
Pussy.
Hug Will.
Big old fat dribbling pussy. Come on, do it.
Give him a hug. Pat him on the back. Give Will a hug.
Break his jaw.
Give Will a hug.
He's not objecting.
Give Will a hug. He's not gonna smack you. He doesn't know how to smack.
Give him a tickle under the chin. Tickle his scruff.
It's not gonna hurt.
Come on. Give him a hug.
Hug him and smooch him. You fucking pussy.
He's getting impatient. Hug him.
You're hurting his feelings.
He's really
Why would you hug Will? What's wrong with Will?
Hug Will.
You hate gay people, huh? You hate gay people. Is that it?
I do.
Is that it?
Give him a hug.
Give him a hug.
Why would you do it?
Hug him. He's gonna Give him a hug. emotionally scarred. Give him a hug.
Do it or he'll kick you out of broadcasting.
I'm not in broadcast.
Yeah,
Give
you
Will a hug.
You are now. You are now.
Okay, hug this man.
Hug him. What? Do you think he's gross?
Hands out of pocket.
Wrap your arms. You know how to give a hug, Jonathan? Have you ever?
Yeah.
That took way too long.
Alright, now fuck off. What?
Right on.
Look how much more calm he is.
Did you see the fucking? Hold on. Did you see the? Was this sent to you?
Nope. No, it wasn't.
God, he's so hot. I mean, what?
Can I be staff person of the month?
No. Are you staff, Garen? Does broadcasting count as staff?
If I got paid for it, I would not be working anywhere else. That's how much money did I pay for.
What did you just say?
I didn't tell you. You said if I got paid for it, I wouldn't be working anywhere else.
I put in so much time into that place.
Walmart?
I'm there probably 4 out of 5 days.
You should broadcast at Walmart.
Broadcasting. If I got paid for what I do for broadcasting,
Hey, you should go to Walmart and broadcast. What the
Oh,
I mean,
dude, if I had unlimited data, I should just stream these podcasts. Hey,
I quit Walmart.
you heard this new snippet?
Yeah.
Hey,
I know it does. That's why I posted on my
Can we
story.
carpool?
Some people hate on it. I got all of my friends to like.
I need a ride home.
because I played
Yeah.
I played Marinade.
You need a what?
Right?
You need a ride
And they're
home.
like, this is
do you live?
stupid. And then I
He's
remember
got me.
I got into his car and it was bumping.
Is that?
We have a job interview.
I live there.
Album that he's dropping, or is it just? He lives like 30
I
seconds.
think it's probably a new song because he
I don't
never
want
really
to walk
drops
to
an
him.
album.
That's true.
It's
I'm a
always like
pussy-ass
one or
bitch,
two songs.
per se.
I think
We're
his
leaving
most
band,
2
like,
songs.
early.
The Marinade.
I'm not, yeah.
I Hate You Too. Song.
For carpool?
I like that one too.
Yeah,
You have to leave at like 3, like
That's a
7.
stupid ass question, bitch. Leave
Oh,
me.
no, it's like
I love that
3:12
line.
or whatever. I'm trying to think
Hey, what's in your car? My car.
Bro, you're so racist.
My car or your car?
Ooh, I guess I'm driving. Damn. Fine. Let's get this.
Where are you driving?
Let's get this. I like the Repost Randy remix one.
We need to go
Does he
bowling.
make those?
We need to break the bowling lane again. We broke 3 bowling lanes when we went bowling.
None of that. We didn't even get one that worked. We left.
We had to leave, but we got our money back.
We literally left.
That was a fun time. It was who? Me, you, Dalton, and Eric?
Yeah.
And we were there for like an hour. And then I drove Eric's car to get dinner. Which, that was one of the dumbest decisions Eric could have ever done.
Yeah, I don't know why. He was like,
What is-
he didn't even contest it.
He was just like, okay, I don't follow.
There was a fight at main event.
What, like, it's like
over
what?
laser tag when we went there for
He
a
got
school
stuck
trip.
in the mud.
Look at my guy.
His car is like an expensive Ford Fusion, and he let me drive it.
What year?
I think it's like a 2019, so it was newer, because this was 2020 at the time.
That mayonnaise?
Oh, he doesn't like mayonnaise. He hates it.
Mayonnaise is racist.
He's afraid of it. Come on, man. You like mayonnaise? Hey,
You know why I don't like it?
Hey, let me hold one.
Because that challenge up there. Let me hold. Let me hold.
Let me hold one. What? Does not want to. Have sex? Like, if you were dating somebody, your main thing for like showing love is sex. No.
Capone
That's
is
how
like
I
an insect that can talk.
This guy had a fucking ear infection and wasn't at the game.
I fucking skipped that shit.
Yeah. I'm not gonna freaking have it. I'm not gonna go that when I have an ear infection. My ear already
I was
hurts.
watching fucking Squid Game. Yeah, I think I was. I think I was watching Squid Game and said that shit. That show's what do you have to say? I watched it.
I have nothing to
It's pretty
say.
good. Yeah, it is good. What do you have to say now, bitch?
Frick you.
Okay. Yeah, Squid Game. Squid Game? Seen Squid Game? Squid Game? Oh, yeah. Squid Game. Episode 6. It was sad.
I still haven't watched it yet, and I'm really. I don't plan on watching it.
What? Watching what?
Squid Game. I don't plan on watching it.
It is.
I should.
It's like
actually-
mainstream and a meme, but also unironically very good. It's like a.
one of those shitty trend shows at first.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a 9 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Because Netflix typically doesn't really do that well with their own movies or shows.
Cowboy Bebop.
Well, it's on a Netflix show.
You see, I'm like the
It's on.
Kissing
It's
Booth
just on.
3.
It is a Netflix.
But Netflix didn't really have.
That's a good one.
Yes, they did.
They punched the whole show. Oh.
It's definitely a Netflix.
Director control.
They funded it. I mean, sure.
I'd fund your mom.
Hey, Kerbal, take the podcast.
What?
I'm passing on the Olympic fire.
It's an opening flame.
I just sent a message to somebody.
Can't pay it because he pissed on a 14.
Hi, Billy.
I went on Samsung and
Sure. I have to send a message. To what? To who? Oh, you got a crush, Cripple? Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I feel like you're lying. I don't know if that's just your deceptive personality at work, but I feel like you're lying to me.
This is a real thing.
So you like this person?
Yes.
And they're getting top secret?
Getting top secret.
Okay, so they're male to female, or female to male?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool, I didn't know that. Are you gonna ask them out?
What?
Are you gonna ask them out? Aw. How long have you guys known each other?
Since
Nice. Have you guys just gotten closer recently, or have you always kind of had a crush on them?
yeah, always.
That's nice. And it doesn't bother you at all that they're
They're the
transitioning?
people I went to Florida with.
Oh, right. And it doesn't bother you at all that they're transitioning?
No.
It's very mature.
Let me get my show up too, cuz. Golly, you can't be here. You the only one eating. You want the team to eat classy.
What's their name? What's their name?
Nico.
Nico? That's a cool name. I like that name. I had no idea this person existed.
No, nobody has any idea this person exists.
The podcast knows now.
The podcast knows now, and will now. Will.
I mean-
you will know in 5 years when you listen to this.
When you listen, I mean, is he really going to listen to like all of these in their entirety?
He might flip through them. So, Will, if you're hearing this,
Now you know.
now you know.
Nice. I'll keep this under wraps. I won't tell nobody.
I mean, you don't have to. Go
I didn't know if it was like a secretive thing.
I don't care. It's not like anybody knows them.
That's true. Where are they from?
What?
Money.
That's not money. That's an Under Armour tag.
Me $1,000,000.
Literally like $1,000,000.
It's a fry. Why? How did it get all the way up there?
It's a free potato.
Especially the rest in peace in the middle of the
Me. We left it at lunch.
We didn't leave it at lunch. I gave it to someone. I gave it to him. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to say?
No.
Anything you want to say?
Penis.
Anything you want to say?
Squid Game. Squid Game. You don't play Squid Game?
Space Time and D&D by Lamar Alexander.
Lomer.
Anything you want to say?
Squid Game. Don't break the cookie. The thing.
Don't break the cookie. Anything you want to say? You better fucking kill it on this match. Yeah, I'll give you the strategy.
All right, let's see the shot.
All right, start with the dart in the back. Shit. You need to.
He has a small penis.
Hogrider's already gotten. Oh, it's. Nah. I go on the other side. Oh no, I mean you've got the thing. Maybe you won't kill him.
No, I'm gonna kill him.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just testing it. I believe it. No, they're not. They're not gonna let. I don't know. They can't. They're gonna try, and the bullet is gonna go back into them. Moo isn't a
completely unrelated.
Anything you want to say?
Not quite. It's a nice, beautiful song about this time.
Can I listen? Or you could just send me the link, and then I can listen to it.
I mean, I can send it to you.
What? Doohickey? You thought of me when you saw this? That means a lot. I need that AirPod, buddy.
Oh yeah. I sent it to you though.
Oh, I'll listen to it out loud.
When I picked it up, it was like this.
It's a doohickey.
The little doohickey. I literally picked it off of the floor because I thought like, that's the real thing.
That's my new screensaver. Do you like it?
What?
My new screensaver.
Is that a rabbit or a...
Oh my gosh. This song here was from...
This song goes? Hold on. No.
I gotta stop.
I can put this in your eyeball.
I'd like to see you try.
You know what Hayden said?
What do you say?
His biggest cap I've ever heard. He said it would be easier to kill yourself by stabbing yourself in the ear than in the eye.
Definitely not.
Yeah, that's what
Definitely, there's
The
bones.
eyes are just big
There's
jelly.
bones in the
Remember that one video, that movie we saw, and we saw those people getting chucked?
Oh yeah. No, but like they go through like the whole there's like a bunch of tiny little bones in here.
No, there's also your skull.
Yeah.
There's a big hole in your skull right about there. And here.
Exactly.
God put big jelly targets in the middle of your face for people to stab. It's the whole point of the eyes.
Of course, not to see.
I don't think Kerpal can see.
Kerpal can't see.
He uses echolocation.
Pretty sure he's blind.
He is like an insect.
Wait, maybe he just has eyes. Yeah, my real eyes are somewhere else. What if he just freckles? All my freckles are eyes.
He could just feel things like a plant. He's like a plant that walks.
Yeah, you know how like trees have like roots?
It says bullshit.
You know how trees have like roots that go like really, really long that can like sense everything in the forest? That's like what I have.
Except it's your dick.
Yeah.
Extend. Like,
No.
Yeah, it's prehensile. Wait, what'd you say? Prehensile? Oh, I thought you said prehensile.
If you get pushed off a tree.
Have you not heard of prehensile being?
like he can use it like a tentacle.
It's like
It's a tentacle, but it's also like a
third arm.
It's like if you
call it the
push
tripod.
Kripal out of the tree, it'll be like.
grab one.
It's like a Spider-Man web.
No. Somebody like flies off in a helicopter and it's like that guy and he like
Would you
I'll
rather,
save him and
if you were
falls down.
falling from a high building, would you rather just die or get caught?
Wait, true or false? Is it a suction cup? Is it like a
I got you.
suction cup, too?
It's like a hook.
Come on, buddy, we got you.
Changeable on different attachments.
No, it's like Spider-Man. and it grabs around you, pulls you up. I got you, buddy.
But seriously, how cool of a superpower like to have a mechanical dick?
Not cool at all.
Not far into our future.
'Cause you know how bad of a superpower that is? It's not even considered a superpower. That's how bad that superpower is. If you had that power, it'd be a party trick, not a power.
China's doing some weird stuff. China is doing some weird stuff. Who knows? They might be already on that.
What?
I bought this.
Where?
Universal.
A party trick. Hey, I was thinking about this in the shower. At what point is a superpower a party
A long
trick?
time ago.
Yeah.
Because you bike ride.
If it's completely useless in most scenarios.
Polka Dot Man is a party trick.
He can literally explode things.
That's
That's a superpower.
There's a lot of party tricks in the Suicide Squad.
Look at my little dick.
I mean, Deadshot's like a party trick.
No, it's not. That's like what we want.
No, he's just really good at it. He's not a superhero.
Can I see your keys?
It's not super. I don't have them.
Then it's not a superpower. Then it's not either.
I mean, like,
You know how much of a party killer it'd be if he was like, hey, I could shoot everything.
What's the best superpower?
teleportation.
Plant growth.
What's the best superpower?
It's super strength, and no one's gonna say shit.
Manifestation.
It's not super strength.
You said teleportation. You said plant growth.
What is like control stuff with your mind?
Telepathy.
Telekinesis.
No, telekinesis.
Telepathy
Telepathy would be pretty
That's
useful.
the reading minds and stuff.
Yeah, with telepathy.
Can you? Is there a thing that's both of those? Is there Professor X? What is he?
Yeah.
You just sound crazy.
What is Professor? Like I just want that.
Professor X is
Telekinesis.
He's both.
He's both. I know, but you gotta combine.
You can do both.
Okay, then that's the most powerful.
What do you
I would
think?
probably do like.
What Dr. Manhattan is like
That's
God.
That's just
Omnipotence?
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. That's the most powerful. Omnipotence.
just being God.
Manifestation is the best because it basically makes you God.
I'd
I don't
say.
know, God can do more
Look at
than just
this.
make
Look at
you
this that I bought.
That's not real.
Is that
That's a Charmander.
That's Squirtle.
Well, you may or may not be aware of this,
Like what? People making.
and I don't even know what education really is anymore, but in light of education, you might, this is like if you're talking Western philosophy, this is like a foundational component of all Western philosophy. So much so that the Christian theologians like St. Thomas Aquinas, these big, St. Augustine, used Plato to rationalize the Christian belief system, and you'll kind of understand how this works. Okay? But they're going to, Western civilization, religiously speaking, is built on Christianity. Christianity goes back and uses Plato to defend the rationality of Christian theology, if that makes sense. So the metaphysics of Plato is going to highly influence the interpretation of how the Christian church understood how God worked. And this will make sense as we go. But has anyone ever heard of the allegory of the cave? Yeah. This is like the big 101. If you're in a Western philosophy class, you have to know the allegory of the cave. Does anybody know what an allegory is?
Story meant to represent something.
Yes. Yes. But what it's meant, it has a definitive, like, it's not interpretive. This allegory has a definitive meaning behind it. It's showing you something. So let's step back for a minute. Colby, how are you, sir? Good. So, Colby, remember at the very beginning of the year, I played this little game, this little philosophical game where I asked, how are you doing? Right? And my contention, philosophically speaking, is there is no you. Because in order for something to be something, we're talking about reality, right? It cannot change. Reality cannot change. It has to be some sort of objective reality. Does this make sense? So for example, young Reese, if you're a materialist, remember we have two different ways of looking at things. We have materialism, we have idealism. And most of us try to blend the two together, right? So the materialist simply says that all things in reality are material. They're made up of energy, right? So Paul is poking Eli. The poking, it's physical. There's a physical energy. Everything is energy at its base. That's physical stuff. Ideological comes from Plato. You're going to see what this means here in a minute. But Colby, if something changes, like you change from day to day, moment to moment, can there be something identified as you that doesn't change? Plato said there was something. He calls them forms. This would be how Christianity interprets things like the soul. There's an essence that stands as the definitive thing, and we'll get into this more. But to Plato, the father of Western philosophy, there were unchanging things. Those unchanging things just were in a reality that was not what? Physical. Physical. We said that. Thank you for saying physical reality. So he's this guy that comes up with this, this idea, not necessarily the idea of metaphysical reality, but he tries to find that metaphysical reality and make sense of it rationally. Does this make any sense whatsoever on the soccer field? Like, there has to be something out there, the gods. The gods exist in this realm that's not physical. But what Plato tried to do was rationalize it and not just say it. Does that make sense? It's like the difference between, well, I have faith in this versus I can rationalize it in a logical manner. There's some logical principles that can lead us to this. We don't just need to blindly believe this. Does that make sense at all? Because if something is real, it cannot what? Thanks. Galt. If something is real, by definition, it cannot do what? It can't change. Now let's take water. Water can exist in different states in reality, right? But the chemical composition of water is still the same. It doesn't change. It just changes the state. Does this make sense? The force of gravity. We assume that that's real in the sense that it applies equally to everybody, everywhere, and to all things equally. Does that make sense? So we're going to get into some weird semantics for language about what is real. Now, I know most of you don't care about what is real or true, because maybe it's more about experiential knowledge, you see. But is experiential knowledge real knowledge? And this is where we get into these weird things. For example, young Alex, if you're thinking about a pink elephant, is that real? Are pink elephants real?
No.
Well, the materialist would say absolutely not. But you're still interpreting reality within the perception of your own mind. All of reality is only perceptual to the individual, right? You're interpreting the world through your own mind. Why is that any different than imagining a pink elephant? Okay, so why isn't that real subjectively? When we say real, what are we trying to... It's real how? You have a Paul, road to Damascus, the whole experience, right? Or the born-again experience of I was this way, had this experience, now I'm this way, and the experience is real to me. Is that different than real?
I would say a little bit, but not completely different. It's different on a personal level. So if you were to use it, let's say maybe it wouldn't be accurate.
So how do we determine what is real?
Yeah, like general agreement on like what society says is real.
There's real, and then there is subjective. Is the subjective experience real in the same way as material reality? Most of us assume, we're under the assumption that there's a material reality. There's a universe, there's energy, there's matter, there's real stuff. We're under this assumption. But most of us, even though we believe that that's real, we also think that the experiences that we have that are telling us about what is real are also valid. If I have an experience with the Great Spirit Bear, and the Great Spirit Bear tells me through my experience that it's real, and I go to Nick and I say, I had this experience with the Great Spirit Bear. The Great Spirit Bear told me it was real. What is Nick going to say?
What the Spirit Bear is for.
To Nick, it might not be real because I can't point Spirit Bear. There's no physical Spirit Bear. But my experience dictates that it was real. Does this make sense? The point being, young lady, it gets very difficult to understand what we're saying with real. Are your shoes real? Or how you're feeling about your shoes real? If it depends, what does it depend on?
Is going to be exploded when we come back.
Are personal opinions real?
it's because it's the brain.
They're not real?
No. The brain stores those personal things, and those are physical.
Thoughts
And
aren't
those
physical,
are real
though.
to us. Wait.
Thoughts are not physical,
But
but the materialists would say they do stem from a material brain.
Right.
But your material brain can deceive you all the time.
Yes.
Can it not?
Right.
But you're still processing it as real, even though it's not telling you the truth.
Dream.
I'm out. I believe I saw Bigfoot.
What's the
I
difference?
didn't.
What's the difference between a memory and a dream? It's like
Right.
They're both. It's just like paths in your brain firing.
Exactly. So the materialists would say the paths and the things that are doing the firing are real, but the images that they produce are not real. But yet, all perceptions are that way. Our brain is interpreting our reality. Okay? The way I engage the world, this physical stuff, may be different than the way you're perceiving it. But we're trying to figure out what is it that we're both perceiving that's actually real. So how do we figure out what's real, what is true in the objective sense?
Seen it.
Most of us trust the scientific method as demonstrating things that we can have high confidence are real, right? But we only trust those things until they come against what our experiences are. So let's go to Truman. We don't have to yell Kurt Paul. I never thought that was possible. Truman believes that the world that he exists in is real. And it is real. It's just created and staged in a certain way. But that doesn't mean it's any less real, does it?
It just means it's not real in the way he thought it was real.
Exactly. It's not real in the way he thought reality was. But as Christoph said, there's no more reality out there than there is in here. So we're getting into this murky water of what do we mean by reality to begin with? What is real? Are words real? Are ideas real? Is it only physical things that are real? Is the way that I react to my phone real? If I'm looking at my phone and I release dopamine, well, the dopamine's real. But is the way I perceive what has happened real? Now, I know. It's frustrating because this is philosophy. And it's not practical because we can't walk around thinking this way practically. But this is not practical. This is philosophical. So we're trying to figure out the philosophy behind what the thing is saying. Does this make any sense whatsoever?
You know what's annoying?
Yes.
You can't put, I don't know, you act like there's an objective definition of real.
Yes.
I think you could play semantics here and make this a lot easier.
Go for it.
And just change the definition of real. I don't know, that there isn't really an objective one. And that you're trying to put this concrete idea of what's real against all these things. But they're both.
But we live in a world where we use language so that we can communicate.
Yeah, and it doesn't work that well, right?
It doesn't. But if we can agree what we mean by the definition of real, then we can start to examine it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We haven't done that.
No, we have not. But I'm trying to get you. So, Colby, what's real? We're going to try to get a working definition so that you and Ali can have real conversations. What is real?
What is a real conversation?
Let's start with somebody else and not
Isn't this? But wouldn't this be easy if you were just a materialist?
Sure, but is everyone a materialist?
No. But if you're a materialist, you could simply say the only thing that's real is
what you see.
What we feel.
I don't know. How would you say it? Natural world, or
I wouldn't say natural world.
the cosmos, or
I would say anything that we can,
the laws of nature.
we can, alongside multiple people, observe and agree that is there and true.
It's not so
I
easy
guess.
if you're a materialist.
That's
Why
still
not?
not that accurate, though.
Because how do we know anything's real?
Okay, now you're talking about knowledge. So we have to admit that there's no way for us to, with 100% certainty, say, I have knowledge of this. There's no way. All we can make are statements of what is deemed to be most likely. So if I'm looking at the force of gravity, I would use the argument and say, from what we understand about anything, gravity is real in so much as we can determine what is real. I can't say with 100% certainty that every time I drop a pin, it's going to fall. I can't say it with 100% certainty. But you can say every time we have observed it, that is what has occurred. So I'm going to assume the next time it's dropped, it's going to do the same thing. That is as real as we can get to being real.
It's just a probability. Is that what you're saying?
It has been demonstrated to occur consistently every time it's been done. That's all it is. We can't have 100% certainty on anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. But we can try to find out what is most probably real. What is the higher likelihood as to being real or true? So we're working in those type of variables. I find it highly likely that gravity is real. But I can't say it's that I know that it's real. Does that make sense? So cool. What do you think is likely to be real? Is it likely that concepts are real? Or is it likely that there's only material that's real? No. Western philosophy. Let's go to Plato, shall we? Let's see how the father of Western philosophy dealt with this. Shall we? I'm not going to make you read the allegory of the cave, but by God, you're going to watch it. Oh, just give him that off. That's real.
Have you ever spent like 3 minutes with football?
Yes. The Cave by Plato.
Exactly.
The Allegory of the Cave by Plato. Excerpt from the Republic, 514a to 520a. Part 1. Setting the scene. The cave and the fire. The cave. Socrates. Imagine this. People live under the earth in a cave-like dwelling. Stretching a long way up towards the daylight is the entrance, towards which the entire cave is gathered. People have been in this dwelling since childhood, shackled by the legs and neck. Thus they stay in the same place, so that there is only one thing for them to look at, whatever they encounter in front of their faces. But because they are shackled, they are unable to turn their heads around. A fire is behind them, and there is a wall between the fire and the prisoners. Socrates. Some light, of course, is allowed them, namely from a fire that casts its glow towards them from behind them, being above and at some distance. Between the fire and those that are shackled, i.e. behind their backs, there runs a walkway at a certain height. Imagine that a low wall has been built the length of the walkway. like a low curtain that the puppeteers put up, over which they show their puppets, the images carried before the fire. Socrates.
No,
So now imagine that all
you're
along
getting
this
way too
low
comfortable. What the heck? You building a bed?
I mean, if I end up.
I can't even get Ethan to turn around and watch.
He's
But he is
listening. There's a, what is there to watch? It's just a picture.
wall. People are carrying all sorts of things that reach high up around the wall. Statues and other carvings made of stone or wood, and many other artifacts that people have made. As you would expect, some are talking to each other as they walk along, and some are silent. Glaucon. This is an unusual picture that you are presenting here, and these are unusual prisoners. Socrates. They are very much like us humans, I responded. What are the prisoners speaking here? Socrates. What do you think? From the beginning, people like this have never managed, whether on their own or with the help of others, to see anything besides the shadows that are continually projected on the wall opposite them by the glow of fire. Glaucon. How could it be otherwise, since they are forced to keep their heads immobile for their entire lives? Socrates. And what do they see of the things that are being carried along behind them? Do they not simply see these? Glaucon. Certainly. Socrates. Now, if they were able to say something about what they saw and talk it over, do you not think that they would regard with which they saw on the wall as beings?
It is unlawful to speak during the reading of the cave.
Glaucon. They would have Socrates. And now what if this prison has also an echo reverberating off the wall in front of them? Whenever one of the people walking behind those in chains would make a sound, do you think the prisoners would imagine that the speaker were anyone other than the shadow passing in front of them? Glaucon. Nothing else by Zeus. Socrates. All in all, I responded, those who were chained would consider nothing besides the shadows of the artifacts as unhidden. Glaucon. That absolutely would have to be part 2. 3 stages of liberation. Freedom, stage 1. A prisoner gets free. Socrates. So now, I replied, watch the process whereby prisoners...
All right, so not to get you bored and try to keep you engaged here, because I look around the room like, dear God, there's a lot of people chained to the wall. Who are the people chained to the wall? Slaves. Sort of. Who are they? Who is Plato? Who are the people chained?
I assume society.
All right, society. We could call it society. We can call it the masses. We can call it you. Right? So if we're looking at a good little metaphor here, we have Eli now getting up. We have people asleep. During this thing, we have a few people awake listening. So Plato's argument is that most people in a society are the ones chained to a particular wall. Does that make sense? This is a commentary on society. We're getting ready to discuss reality with the myth of the cave, the allegory of the cave, and Mandy gets up and leaves. That's a representation of the chain. Dear God, Drake. Okay? All right, good. Society.
I have nothing to give.
Are set free from their chains, and, along with that, cured of their lack of insight, and likewise consider what lack of insight must be if the following were to happen to those who are chained. Walks back to the fire. Socrates. Whenever any of them was unchained and was forced to stand up suddenly, to turn around, to walk, and to look up towards the light, in each case the person would be able to do this only with pain, because of the flickering brightness, would be unable to look at those things whose shadows he previously saw.
Right. What are the shadows?
Statues.
Okay, but what do the people, society, the masses, view the shadows to be?
Reality.
Reality. But you, the reader, and Ethan, know, as you look at the myth or read the myth, that what is actually reality?
Whatever's outside the cave.
Okay? Don't get outside the cave yet. The statue. So this is material reality, but the masses only see the reflection of the true reality. So you come into a Western philosophy class. I wake up Alex, and I say, Alex, break your chain. Stand up for a minute, turn around, and look. What do you think Alex is going to do once he stands up and looks? What's going to be the reaction?
Apathy.
He's going to want to go back.
If you've been chained your whole life, you've been looking at shadows your whole entire life, and you have been told this is real, and then somebody comes along and breaks the chain, has you stand up and turn around, what is going to be your reaction most of the time, according to Plato?
Apathy. It doesn't matter. Then you don't care about it.
Pain?
And you're ultimately,
You're not
Plato
going to be
would
pain.
say,
You're not going to think.
you're
it's
going
real.
to go back to your what?
It's like, if you think
What do we
if you think
prefer?
what you've been saying the entire time is really, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh. You're just going to be like, that's not true.
What do we get comfortable with?
If somebody put you in a cave and it's like,
Being
hey,
a
these
slave.
shadows are real, you're like, no, they're
Or what?
No, I'd be like, okay.
not.
Oh, God. All right, let's try this again. We have Alex, young Alex. We have Dalton. All right, they're chained to this wall. Their whole entire life, Mandy has taught Alex that what he has seen is real. There's no other way for him to interpret it because that's what he has been exposed to his entire existence. Somebody comes to him, breaks his chain, and tells him to turn around. Plato is going to argue that what is Alex most likely to do?
Not care.
I don't understand the picture. What? I didn't see. I thought it was just like a lump. I didn't know that.
Let's take Colby. This is a perfect example.
What?
Colby has a belief system. Okay? Colby's belief system gets challenged. What do most people do when something they believe to be true is challenged?
Offended.
They don't believe it.
Offended.
Deny.
They deny the argument against it. They don't defend anything. They believe what they were taught to believe. Plato argues that if Alex gets his chains broken and he turns around, most people are going to immediately put the chains back on. Why does Kant say people don't like enlightenment?
Lazy and scared.
They're lazy and scared. This is Plato's point that Kant is reverberating on 1,000 years later. Of course, people don't want to see what's true. They want to believe what they think is true.
His question about the objects. Socrates, if all this were to happen to the prisoner, what do you think he would say if someone were to inform him that what he saw before were mere trifles, but that now he was much nearer to beings, and that as a consequence of now being turned towards what is more in being, he also saw more correctly? The answer he gives, Socrates, and if someone were then to show him any of the things that were passing by, and forced him to answer the question about what it was, don't you think that he would be at a wit's end in addition, would consider that what he previously saw was more unhidden than what was now being shown. Glaucon. Yes, absolutely. Looking at the firelight itself. Socrates. And if someone even forced him to look back into the glare of the fire, would his eyes not hurt him? Would he not then turn away and flee, back to that which he is capable of looking at? And would he not decide that what he could see before without any help was in fact clearer than what was now being shown to him? Glaucon. Precisely.
What did Alex just do?
Go back to sleep.
He went back to sleep! Plato predicted it! Thank you. Well done.
Drake.
Yeah, Drake.
Do it.
Back. Do it back.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Thank you. The masses, yes, thank you. Do not, remember, Socrates, don't trust the masses.
Too good.
The apology, masses.
Freedom. Stage 2. Out of the cave into daylight. Socrates. Now, however, if someone using force were to pull him away from there, to drag him up the cave.
Okay, now a little bit. Who are the people chained? Kira, who are they? Which people? The masses. Society in general. Right? Chain is broken. Shh. Parking lot. Shh. You stand up, you turn around, you go right back to your chains. But what if somebody forces you to walk with them where you cannot go back to your chains? What if the philosophical bent is so strong that it pulls you even against your will? Your curiosity moves you towards the light. Then what's going to happen? We'll see. We're going to see. What? I mean, sorry. Yes, sir.
I agree.
Can we get backpacks?
He's rough and steep ascent.
We can't.
Not let go of him until you
You
drag
can't.
him out of the light of the sun.
Look at you.
Pain,
I own
rage,
a
blindness.
You own a backpack.
Would not the one who can drag like this feel, in the process, pain and rage? When he got into the sunlight, wouldn't his eyes be filled with the glare, and wouldn't he thus be unable to see any of the things that are now revealed to him as the unhidden? Glaucon. He would not be able to do that at all, at least not right away. Getting used to the light. Socrates. It would obviously take some getting accustomed. I think if it should be a matter of taking into one's eyes that which is up there outside of the cave, in the light of the sun. Shadows and reflections. Socrates. And in this process of acclimatization, he would first and most easily be able to look at the shadows, and after that, the images of people, and the rest of things as they are reflected in water. Looking at things directly. Socrates. Later, however, he would be able to view the things themselves, but within the range of such things, he might well contemplate what there is in the heavenly dome, and this dome itself, more easily during the night, by looking at the light of the stars and the moon, than by looking at the sun and its glare during the day. Glaucon. Certainly. Freedom. Stage 3. The sun. Looking at the sun itself. Socrates. But I think that finally he would be in a condition to look at the sun itself, not just at its reflection whether in water or wherever else it might appear, but at the sun itself, as it is in and of itself, and in the place proper to it, and to contemplate of what sort it is. Glaucon. It would necessarily happen this way. Thoughts about the sun, its nature and functions. Socrates. And having done all that, By this time he would also be able to gather the following about the sun, that it is which grants both the seasons and the years. It is that which governs whatever there is now in the visible region of sunlight, and that it is also the cause of those things that the people dwelling in the cave have before their eyes in some way or another. Glaucon. It is obvious that he would get to these things, the sun and whatever stands in its light, after he had gone out beyond those previous things, the merely reflections and shadows, thoughts about the cave. Socrates. And then what? If he again recalled his first dwelling, and the knowing that passes the norm there, and the people with whom he was once chained, don't you think he would consider himself lucky because of the transformation that had happened, and by contrast, feel sorry for them? Glaucon. Very much so. What count?
So if somebody exposes you to that which is true or real, would you be glad for that exposure, or would you be upset because you were exposed to it?
Being exposed to reality.
Reality.
Well, that depends on the situation. And also depends on...
Remember the first question I asked when you got in this classroom? If you were given the choice,
I wasn't here.
Do you want to know?
Oh, that one. That was like 3 days later.
Most people say, if given the option, that they don't want to know because
I wasn't here for
their beliefs might be challenged, right? So the philosophical question that being in the class was, do you really want to know? This is a reference to the cave. Because the one being let out of the cave is now in the know. He didn't have a choice in the knowledge. It was forced upon him. But like most people, according to Plato and Alex, the first exposure to knowledge freaks most people out to the point where they go back to the belief. Because the belief is where comfort and security and answers are. Do you want to know?
It's for wisdom in the cave. Socrates. However, what if among the people in the previous dwelling place, the cave, certain honours and commendations were established for whoever most clearly catches sight of what passes by, and also best remembers which of the normally is brought by first, which one later, and which ones at the same time? And what if there were honours for whoever could most easily foresee which one might come by next? What would the liberated prisoner now prefer? Socrates. Do you think the one who had gotten out of the cave would still envy those within the cave, or would want to compete with them who are esteemed and have power? Or would not he or she much rather wish for the condition that Homer speaks of, namely, to live on the land above ground as the paid menial of another destitute peasant? Wouldn't he or she prefer to put up with absolutely anything else, rather than associate with those opinions that hold in the cave, and be that kind of human being? Glaucon. I think he would prefer to endure everything rather than be that kind of human being. Part 3. The prisoner returns to the cave. The return.
So what's going to happen when this prisoner who has been exposed to the truth of reality goes back into the cave and tries to talk to those who are in chains? What happens to people that bring information to the masses that they do not want to hear? Who dies? How do a lot of people handle their beliefs being challenged? Not well. So are they going to welcome the person that is bringing these new questions to light, or are they going to send him on his way? because we prefer our
blindness. Socrates. And now I responded, consider this. If this person who had gotten out of the cave was suddenly to go back down and sit in the same place as before, would he not find in that case, coming suddenly out of the sunlight, that his eyes were filled with darkness? Glaucon. Yes, very much so. The debate with the other prisoners. Socrates. Now, if once again...
That's how good, and I'll see you tomorrow, I hope.
It's 108. What? 108.
Is it our favorite?
We gotta go. All seniors are going.
Hey, Reese.
Yeah.
Text me the name of that song.
Yeah.
Advisory.
It was our favorite teacher.
Advisory. Advisory. Advisory.
Reese forgot his name.
Advisory.
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 Advisory. Reese forgot his name.
That's a good question. Have you ever been advised?
Have you ever been
Here, hold this.
Do you advise or are you an advisor?
Definitely get advised first. Before I advise.
What are you advising? Are you real?
Information.
Okay.
Eric! Hey, Eric! Have you ever been advised?
No, I did.
Have you ever advised anyone?
I don't think that's actually true.
Have you ever advised anyone, Eric?
Yes.
Who?
People.
What did you advise them?
Eric, are you
Various
real?
things.
What do you advise right now?
Maybe.
Are you real or are you like pulled straight from a Bethesda game?
Do you advise?
Maybe.
What do you advise?
Hot stuff.
What do you advise I do? Right now.
That.
I feel like Eric has just been like pulled from Skyrim and just like
Definitely Fallout.
Fallout?
Yeah, he's like a Fallout 76 NPC.
Yeah, he's just like an NPC that lives in your town.
Hey, we go to the thing, don't we? Don't we? Aren't we doing the FAFSA? Aren't we doing the FAFSA?
I already did my FAFSA.
Are we doing the FAFSA?
Hi, Mariano.
Hey,
Have you ever been in Fallout?
Ain't we doing the FAFSA? I thought we were doing the FAFSA. Yeah, we were doing the FAFSA. We're doing the FAFSA on a computer. Wow. What? And technology has come so far.
Technology has come so far, you don't even need to do your taxes. You just don't do them.
Somebody will get your taxes.
Somebody will get my taxes. One way or another. I might get arrested, but...
Sure. I guess not.
Jebediah left. He went home.
I don't blame him. Need me a pen?
Can I write on my FAFSA that I have no money?
What?
Can I write on my FAFSA that I have zero money?
Hello? I have $0.
I have $0.
My family's yearly income is approximately $0. It's college.
Federal application for student aid.
Is that actually?
Look at Google.
You made that up.
Google that.
No.
You choose just random days. Yep.
Do you have to fill that out?
If you fill it out, you don't have to go to after school.
Oh.
For 1 day. It's 1 day. You get to skip after school practice 1 day. But if it means
to show up for these?
No, these are days that I supposedly practice over fall break.
Oh, did you?
No. Why would I?
I don't know, because you're a diligent and hard worker. Ooh.
Where did you get that?
Where did I get that?
Yeah, you told me that.
I'll give you that info.
You found that on Reddit? I don't know. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 people here. 6.
4 or 5 or 6 people. I don't know.
7. Yeah, sorry. Didn't count Coach Ray as a person.
I don't agree with a lot of
I don't agree with any
the
of
stuff I wrote in.
For what?
It was fun.
For what? What are you writing? What did you write?
Well, where's all my people?
Right here. They went home. We're here.
Well,
We're the most important part.
we're getting ready to go to the Lyceum, guys.
What did I say? What did I say?
It's FAFSA week.
What are the ideas?
But before we go, let me give you this.
The whole week?
That's probably makes my life more difficult because I got to track them down now.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it is.
Right.
Either close your
Idwts,
or say words.
that, and
What is it?
that.
Read it to his will. What's your social
Oh,
security?
you're not.
408975146. I know it.
Hello, Jeremiah.
Jebediah. I'm going to call her Jebediah.
Alright, once I give these to you, head on down to the Lyceum. I also have your social security number if you need it. If you will need it. Okay, no Kiera, no Morgan, I bet they're all.
Oh.
Ethan!
Nope. I didn't stop the podcast.
You know your social security number?
Hey,
Goodbye.
I'm not leaving. I'm going home.